coming back. I'm gonna head over to Bristlet Farms. Actually, I'm gonna check around, see what I can find. Okay, so nothing there. I heard something like a harvester just walked by. There he is. Yeah. Kiss my butt. I'm gonna get this little tank to explode. This will be a tricky one. Flop over. Trying to get them all. Okay, I didn't hit them all at once, but. You know, where is the earth-shattering kaboom? That way I can listen in on all the noises, even though I got my headphones on. It's still a good idea because, well, Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh, before I do anything, actually, I'm gonna head over there anyways. Shot. I think it's better if I not. Well. Oh, it is a rival. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think I'm hitting the rival. I think I'm... The rival's up there. Oh, this is not good. for one. Oh, no, not too shabby. I hate seekers. I just kill him on principle. Die, motherfucker! Meet my little friend. Yeah, that means there's something up here. Well, that certainly helped. What I get for dropping my controller, and also my controller's all wound up. What the hell? There we go. Well, that'll have to do. Pac 12 legendary. That works for me. Oh yeah, that. Doing some frozen blueberries and a thing of water. It's like the best thing since sliced bread was invented, which was in 1927, give or take. I keep saying that because, you know, it's like my best little analogy, you know, fallback quip and phrase ever. Most people don't even know what that means. Best thing since sliced bread was invented. Well, now you know. Sometimes a little bit of history is always appreciable, because a lot of people don't know about this stuff. I'm always picking up the weird stuff every so often, you know, because that's the way it is. You know, if you don't know your own history, you know, you're always missing out on the little cool things that go unnoticed or missed, because our history books aren't always completely accurate. A lot of the stuff is left out for a reason. And not a lot of subjects are fully covered either, unless you're talking about ancient Egyptian cultures, ancient Rome, Mesopotamia, old Europe, you know, during the tribal uprisings, you know, Britain, Germany. Most people don't know about Russian history. I found some interesting stuff about 2 years ago from one of my Twitter contacts. She was from Russia, and she told me a lot of stuff that even I didn't know about. That Russia used to be made up of a lot of tribes, and they consolidated. There's a lot of ancient Russian history involved. That goes way back. I think she said back to the Renaissance age or the Dark Ages. I can't remember. But there's so much about Russia we don't know. We only think about the modern stuff. Pre-World War II, pre-World War, the Great War, possibly the 19th century, but beyond that, no one knows what things were like centuries earlier, because no one really, brushes up on such stuff. We're always focused on Japan, China, during the dynasties, during feudal Japan. Most people don't even know what Australia was like in those days, before the penal settlers were put there, prisoners. Or the fact that Australia is a British Commonwealth, but it's also one of the oddest island continents in the world. It's so strange. It is very odd. One of my friends, before he moved to New Zealand, he was living in the west coast of Australia, the Gold Coast. And about right now, it's summer over there. Really hot, like melting point type hot, like. And during the winter, it actually snows. Okay, in Australia, in that part of Australia, the Gold Coast, and other Victoria, it actually snows there. It is really weird to see snow in Australia, like it was in Lebanon and Israel and parts of Saudi Arabia, where they had their first hurricane ever recorded over there. Yeah, most of those places never see snow. And then you had snow down in what was it, Argentina, Chile, somewhere around there, just a couple years ago, before the Gulf Coast here in the United States actually got snow. And that was the first time in 105 years we got snow. People had to look it up. I didn't know about that. I mean, the last time they had snow in the Gulf Coast was 1895. Even I didn't know about that one. I was assuming because it's always semi-tropical, subtropical weather down there, it never snows. But New Orleans got 8 inches back in January of this year. Other places up in the Panhandle of Florida got snow, and I'm just like floored. I'm just like, whoa. That is something you never even see. And the satellite pictures didn't do it justice. It was like a little bit of a white line all the way from, let's say, eastern Texas, Galveston area, Pelican Island, all the way to the Panhandle of Florida. And I'm just like, what? I was shocked beyond imagination. It was just so unbelievable. Okay, so now I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the fuel cells out and recycle. And I'm going to stick the large fuel cells in there. That way I'm going to rotate a little bit, add some extra room. And then after I kill these things in the back field, I'm going to head over to Bruscula or somewhere else. Well, someplace fun. Yeah, the HP5 weapon is just awesome. Especially against a level 1 rival. And the harvester was just sitting there. I mean, it was coming up behind it. And I'm going, wait, what? I mean, I was expecting it to open fire. But because, the devs tweaked the sensors, yes, it made the machine sensors more sensitive. But because I was cloaked already, because I've got all the camouflage attributes already maxed out, it couldn't see me. So I was being able to focus on the tank while this thing was crawling up towards me, walking up towards me, and it didn't spawn any reinforcements, which is a plus. So I was expecting it to, just stay there and, continue firing on me. So I was able to dodge both at the same time, except for the tank. I was getting kind of nailed here and there, but that was it. Doggos, man, those things annoy the hell out of me. Oh, and let's say go ahead and take out 2 Seekers. Sometimes I'm not always paying attention to where the incoming fire is coming from, because it shows from behind or in front, and I'm like over to the side, left, right, whatever. So I'm just doing a complete loop around with my character, trying to figure out where everything's coming from, and spinning around going, okay, where's it coming from, where's it coming from? And sometimes you don't even see it. You don't see where they're coming from, because like I said in the last session, the military units, for example, are perfectly camouflaged in the foliage or in the tree line, so you can't see where they're coming from. And during the night, they're completely masked, so you have no idea what's going on until you see their light, their body lights or whatever you want to call it, or their forward sensors. They're lit up like eyes and everything. That's when you see them. But beyond that, you know, it's hard to pick out the machines at night and during certain times of the day because the sunlight, where it glares off the landscape, especially if the landscape shares the same coloration as the machines, like say it's a prototype or military, it's got the green camouflage and everything, or scout class or whatever. Yeah, you can't see those things. They are very hard to pick out. Even with your HUD display, you know, warning you to where exactly where it's going by pointing a little arrow thing, it's still kind of hard to figure out where they're coming from. So, oh right, I gotta go here and do this. So. You don't get a whole lot of steel. Wow, there's gotta be some serious shit going on. If this thing is parked right outside the... Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to the... Take out the hunter because it's a bigger threat, especially with its it's like a painted by a seeker. Like a dumbass. here than it normally is. With the heater on. Well, let's see. Well, it's 41 degrees. That's no wonder it's freaking ass cold. What about Tinkerbell and Sylvia? They weren't able to come in the past couple nights because it's been freaking a fucking nightmare in terms of I'll take that thing out. That way I can get rid of that Hunter rifle. Theoretically, I could use the HP5 on it, but I'm more comfortable with the KVM-89 because I know it's going to take it out in like 10 seconds. So I'm gonna screw with it. I mean, I'm not going to screw it. I'm just going to take it out. Collectibles. I don't have it yet. It's alright. And then I got to put some, actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try it anyways, just being a safe side. There we go. Since I've got the damn thing, I might as well try it out for this area. Jesus Christ. I hate this place. I hate this area so bad. It is like probably the worst place to be because there's so many machines in this area. I really haven't been here in a while. Last time me and my friend were here, we were getting our butts smoked. Making sure, because I haven't really been in this area in a while. So I really don't know what I'm facing. Actually, I think this is the first time I've been here because I really don't recognize this place at all. I don't remember seeing that guy in the back seat before. Hmm. That looks like... I'm just going to take a guess. But, looks like oysters or clams or something with potatoes in it. Just throwing it out. Sometimes this stuff's hidden under the beds. Okay, so first question. Why in God's name would you have an ashtray sitting next to the bathtub? Oh, right. Now I remember. My parents did the same thing. Or my stepdad, especially, he is a heavy smoker, so is my mom. They'd have an ashtray parked on the part of the bathtub, you know, the one that, you know, the flat parts. People still do it, I think, but it's just kind of, you know, bizarre. Okay, since I'm already done on that area, yeah, little weird things you can find. I mean, this place is set in 1989, and most of you probably weren't born until after the fall of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of the USSR. So, but it's still kind of weird and cool. Here. Bought fresh blueberries. Can't go wrong with that. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna say I went to a nameless store and bought some organic corn. It didn't take more than 7 days when I tried to use it last night. I discovered that it had gone completely moldy. Okay, and I was surprised because I got some corn from the food bank, and it's 10 or 11 days old, and it actually lasted longer. So I'm wondering if the organic parts. I mean, I'm just saying, for example, organic is good to eat, but not good for storing, obviously, because it'll go bad within a few days. Because I think the organic part, I'm not sure organic produce is. I mean, I know we genetically engineer vegetables to some degree to make them bigger, more juicier, and more filling, you know, and everything, and that's perfectly fine because it's still a tomato, it's still an apple, nothing's really changed. I mean, but, you know, natural organic, you know, fresh from the garden to the table, it spoils a lot faster, apparently. It doesn't have, I don't know what they put in the GMO stuff. I mean, I'm not talking canned stuff. I'm talking, you know, oh God, my brain's fried. I had way too much sleep today, or yesterday. I passed out around 10 o'clock. Didn't wake up until 7. That's how tired I was. Of course, I've been sleeping well. But anyway, so, you know, I'm wondering if it's because, you know, I mean, the foods we eat are about 50-50, okay? We're either going to have organic cost a hell of a lot more than just, you know, store-bought stuff and preserved stuff, because we preserve our foods a specific way, so, you know, it brings to attention that organic always doesn't last as long as stuff that's preserved a little bit better. You know, because when our ancestors first arrived in America, okay, they did a lot of pickling and canning and stuff, and they used a lot of old methods, which are still in use today to some degree, that preserves foods much longer, especially meats and stuff. So everything's kind of cured, and so it'll last a lot longer. But today we unfortunately use chemicals and all kinds of fun stuff, and you know, things that a lot of people have railed against for about 10 or 20 years, you know, because we've been spoiled by, you know, just processed foods and everything. I know it's not healthy. And so I'm pretty sure eating a ton of meat isn't healthy either, because it's not meant to be a sole part of your diet. Because technically we're omnivores, but we're also carnivores, and so let's see. So I did that one. Let's see where to go now. Yeah, everything's pulled to the right. Okay, let's see. I took out 1 hunter, 2 rivals total, so I'm going to head up to my old stomping grounds here. I rarely go to Little Hamish, as we call it sometimes. Little Ham. So I was comparing the corn that it's called sweet corn on the cob, you know, and it's organic. So it got me thinking, you know, maybe organic is good if you use it immediately. It's fine, but you don't want to store it in the fridge, or if you got organic non-perishable, you might want to do the same. I mean, you have to eat it as quickly as possible. The normal stuff. I mean, we're talking. You know, stuff that's already, you know, bought at stores. Like you go to a vegetable grocery store, like a let's see what I call it. They call it corn stores. They call them something else. Oh shit. Specialty stores, you know, that specializes with Mediterranean, Middle Eastern cuisine, foods, and spices, Indian spices, stuff like that, you know. So they, you know, foods like that tend to last longer. I noticed that some of the stuff I buy from, say, Winco and other places tend to last a bit longer than normal. kind of weird how, wow, before, come on, dude. I'm over here, dude. If you don't really mind. Literally just homing tools are a godsend in this case because then it won't have to be taking any specific damage from the fire bird as it fires on me. And I can also just, you know, I can also just fire on it and pass it by me so I don't have to. Dude, back up and show it. Yeah, I know I'm getting nailed from behind a little bit. Perfect. That helps. I know I skipped combat. Here. Sorry, I grabbed my controller and I ended up oh, so the roly-polies did take out the tank. Damn, that's pretty good. Well, the tank was already heavily damaged. That's pretty impressive considering they finished up the lopped up puppy off. So they're like, what, 5 surviving roly-polies from that battle? Boy, that's pretty impressive. I know they had a hunter somewhere. Oh, I can't. Make sure I'm not caught in the crossfire somewhere. Here. Come on, dudes. Sounds like it's a either hunter class or it's tank. Precious boy. Oh, look at the scratchies. Scratchies right there. Chin scratches, huh? Here. Here's a spot. Oh, that spot's always a shrub spot. Oh, yeah. My phone should be fully charged. Can't do anything there. 8 to 12. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be fun. Wednesday. I could probably go down to the Snohomish County PD on Wednesday and get my energy assistance thing taken care of. Assuming, of course, I'm going to be able to qualify because, I mean, I'm already low income, but the fact is that the government is still shut down by that point. The low energy assistance program funds will be delayed until the government reopens. Of course, they're still trying to blame Democrats for everything. And now this Mike Davis asshole saying, oh, you 40 million people should get off your asses and go find a job and stop being fat ghetto lazy bums. And I'm like, dude, you make more money than most of us could see in 10 lifetimes. And you're worried about someone getting very little bit. And food stamps, most people on food stamps are already working. Okay? The rest are disabled, family members with families with children, the elderly, people like me in home care. I mean, it's like, yeah, we know you're trying to shame people, but the jobs are bleeding left and right. Okay, our inflation rate went to 3% in September. It's still going to climb higher. If we lose our food stamps, there's 41 million people without food stamps. That's going to hit our economy like a freight train, and it's going to cripple our economy in ways that we can't imagine because everything's going to be affected, from businesses all the way down to food banks. You know, and people are going to be out of work. The unemployment rate's going to go up. Inflation's going to go up. Everything is going to go sky high because this was all intentionally done. You know, because Trump can claim there's so much unrest in the country, he can try and suspend the elections next year, which is what he's trying to do, since nothing else he's tried is working. And so he's going to try this. Of course he's going to try this, but it's not him that's trying it. It's Stephen Miller that's the de facto president. Before that it was Elon Musk. But then we've pushed him out because of his Doge crap that failed. It actually did fail. It caused more problems than it was supposed to solve. And so everyone's running on the idea, oh, there's Americans who are 360 years old and getting Social Security. Oh, crap. What's going on? Well, if someone is knocking on my door, they ring the bell first. But, yeah. I mean, this is all intentionally done to destroy the country, the institutions of democracy. I mean, this is the last final gasp of the Republican Party and Trump. once he's out of office, he'll likely die. But the people who carried on his evil work and everything, they'll be held accountable. And the backlash is going to be severe. It already is against ICE. Everybody's pissed at ICE. They're actually cornering people in Walmart parking lots and asking them which country they were born in. American citizens, U.S. citizens, they detained 2 of them today. And I'm going, what the heck? They're U.S. citizens. You're going to ask them questions? Yes, I'm an American citizen. I was born in Alaska. Can you produce your birth certificate? I said, who carries their birth certificate on their person at all times? Nobody does. You know, we carry our ID and driver's license, which should be sufficient enough, but these people are not real ICE agents. They're militias. They're people who are 3%ers, Proud Boys, the Patriot Front, Oath Keepers. They actually all the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, or whoever runs the ICE operations, they actually hired all these people. These people have no training almost, and they don't know anything about the federal laws or the Constitution. But the other problem is that they're all overweight. There's so few of them able to qualify because they can't meet the basic requirements of ICE training, which is to run a full mile in mile and a half in less than 15 minutes. They can't even do that. They can't even do any push-ups because they're so out of shape. So they tell them, oh, go ahead and self-certify yourself. And I'm like, yeah, that's like me saying, oh, I got A pluses on my test. I'm going to put that on my report card, and I don't have to have the teacher sign it. And I'm going, holy God, that's exactly what's going on, because people are doing that. Whoops. There you go, over here. There you go. But yeah, it's just a nightmare situation over here. And I'm sorry, but this isn't the way our country's supposed to be. And this is not who we are anyways. And people are just pissed and irritated and furious against the federal government, or you want to call it the federal government. And so people are just fighting back. They're not tolerating this stuff anymore. They're not tolerating it. I mean, you wouldn't either if your neighbors and friends you've known for 30 years are being targeted by a bunch of thugs and goons who have no authority, really. And everyone's making threats against people who try to hold them accountable and everything, and there's complaining they're being doxxed and threatened. And I'm like, well, yeah, we are doing the same to Americans. You're not supposed to be doing this crap. There's a difference between the ICE that we used to know, who actually carries out humane operations, but doesn't go beyond their boundaries, and these idiots who abuse their power, who have no oversight or authority, and they can act like they can do whatever they want. Okay, so that's a level 1. That's a level 4. I'm curious what this one is. Okay, that's a tank. This one is a hunter. And this puppy over here is a firebird. I'm gonna head over here myself anyways. I gotta ransack the whole area, including the loot house that's down the hill. I'm gonna see if I can avoid all the fireworks going on. But yeah, our country's a mess. And I'm sorry if anybody thinks that we're, the bad guys because we got a bunch of clowns running the government, but this isn't who we are as a nation. Okay, we're better than this. We don't represent what's going on in our country. We're pretty decent people. We're just being held hostage by a bunch of morons that wouldn't trust a potato gun. Well, I can take out the extra points. yeah. Yeah, something's... Yeah, I know, I can hear them. I really haven't been here. This is mainly a good area to take. I remember one time in this area, a couple years ago, give or take, just having the standard, you know, PVG 90 experimental. There wasn't really many of these things anyways. I mean, the experimental weapons, I should say. And, get myself a shotgun silencer, legendary. Anyway, so I was saying, up in that cabin area where I was just earlier, I was surrounded by 2 tanks, 2 Polaris's, bunch of grenade throwing roly polies, and a Firebird. And I was trying to take cover in the shed there, and I was getting pounded from all sides, and it was not the pleasant experience that you want. That was like level 47, something like that. Not level 161 almost. But it was the most frustrating thing to experience, because I'm like, seriously? Thing is, up here, this is where you can farm for field radios. Anything you need for like dead bodies and stuff, this is like the best thing. Because you'll at least get 3 or 4 field radios if you need them. There's always this really cool weapons crate. And it's usually whatever you can find or get. sometimes you'll have a really good, um, you'll sometimes get something good out of that crate over at the Soviet camp next to any 118 Air Base. And sometimes you won't. Sometimes you get double weapons. I'm not talking the same one, but two weapons, two different weapons in it. And it's like Christmas all over again. I told my friend I was going to have to wait on his blankets because my power bill was just right through the roof. And I've got to pay that before I do anything else. And also my internet bill's a bit behind too. So. Oh, interesting. Nothing really fancy. So, yeah, so some areas, you know, if you know where to go that's got the best farming stuff, I mean farming for like items, weapons, loot, med packs, radios, most of these, some of the areas you already know, it's going to have some of the good stuff. You know, so you may want to, you know, keep that in mind. Memorize exactly where all these areas are. Like the Watchtower, for example. The Watchtower area has some pretty good stuff, but just got to be careful. That area is a nightmare and a hornet's nest. Oh, my back just popped. Okay, let's see. Not that one. I'm going to have to reduce some of the LG7V high explosive rounds just enough so I can take some extra weight off my my character. Afterwards, just do a little bit of a light workout. I've been trying to, you know, I had a dream I was telling someone that they're asking me how long it's going to take me to, you know, lose some, you know, work out and everything, try to, you know, go back to the way I was. And I said, well, it's going to take me about 22 months. It's roughly the same time as last time, but there was a 30-year difference, so it might take longer. But I got the good weights, the free weights. I've also got to get some kind of a, well, actually I don't have to worry about that because I got the bar set, portable. It's detachable, so it's not like the old 3-foot long weight bar. That thing was a nightmare. So. For a napalm, I wonder if I should get rid of that. I mean, I really don't use any of that stuff anyways, but somebody does, and somebody might. If I come across anyone, yeah, if I ever manage to get my PlayStation subscription Plus back online for about a month, I can just give it to somebody who needs it, but it's been like 5 months since the last time I had it. I think back in May, I believe, like May or June of this year, I had it for a full month, and then discovered that it wasn't very, it was kind of a waste of money because the connection was really bad anyways. So do as much I can do. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to put your water thing in there. It's been 18 hours or something. Jesus, I'm sorry, cat. Daddy's sorry. Daddy's been kind of busy. Actually, there's something I want to look at. It's 2:02 in the morning. 2:03. Just wait. Just wait. Ow. I was in the head to the White House. You're a silly boy. No, no. Ow. I didn't realize there'd be a tick there. I just happened to walk right up to it, literally. Your second cat. Somewhere in this area you have to go down this hill and there's a hidden cave somewhere. The only problem is that it's radioactive completely. Glad I got my silencer. That would have been a problem. Ow, 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 no claws. Jeez, cat, I got no pants on. What's this doing trying to nail me with it? Just give me a second. Yeah, it took me a little while to figure out there's some extra stuff here. Like this right here, I completely missed it. Over time, I didn't even realize there was anything there till, I don't know, late last year. I wasn't even paying much attention. Another stuff over here. Sometimes you have to be thorough. You already know what's in here. It's the loot house, which is really nice. Sometimes you get some really good weapons here. But this island is a total nightmare. I don't usually spend much time. There is a enclosed airbase somewhere in this island, but it's surrounded by Apocalypse class tanks, and I'm like, no. Just no. I'm not really interested in taking them on by myself. Thank you very much. You guys have a nice day. I'm out of here, and it's like, yep. I'm going someplace where it's safe. Yeah, there's one white house with a treasure chest is stuck in one of these windows that you can't access, and I'm like, how do you get that thing? Do you jump off this thing and try to grab it? I don't even know how that's even possible. It's kind of on a bizarre side is what it is. This is kind of like a cool setup, you know. You got a chess piece, you got this, and so you got a chair and some other stuff, a little curtain kind of thing. Just kind of whoops. Hit the trigger by accident. Which is good because I don't want to attract anything. This area is a nightmare. I better get out before something spots me. Because that's kind of like on the bad side of things. This area in particular. It's not my most favorite spot either. No, I don't really stay here unless I absolutely have to. There's a piece of wood you can pick up. Now these things right here, this hacksaw, I forget what it's called, but you can actually, it used to be used to saw down giant trees like sequoias, for example, and stuff like that. The bigger ones, that was the baby. The bigger ones are a lot bigger. They take about 3 or 4 men just to use it. But it's pretty crazy. Yeah, when we went, first time I came here, I didn't realize this place had a couple of chests somewhere. And there's just one. But this greenhouse is awesome. If only I had something like this, it'd be like totally boss. But that would be so sweet. Well, I'll come down here. It's a little safer. But anywhere else is like asking for trouble. course, I wish this area was more accessible. Whoops, I forgot. I'm overloaded. Schematics here, huh? Yeah, she can fall and drown. Sometimes you just can't tell when you just walk off the pier or something. It's like, wow. Okay, that's a little weird when it's snowing, but it's all you can hear the thunder and lightning in the background. There's one instance I was here last time. And there was a relay beacon popped up. And I'm just like, oh, this is going to be so cool, right? Well, I killed the relay beacon because I alerted its little friends. See, the relay beacon was somewhere in this area. Yeah, this place is bad news. You don't want to go in this area unless you want to. Then it's just a matter of preference. Candle holder, little let's say shopping cart. It'd say it's like a shopping cart. What am I saying shopping cart for? Little carrying cart, whatever you want to call it. Angelo, you're really on the edge. You don't want to be falling down, Butterball. It's so close. That thing's flying way too close. Of course, the distances are kind of steep because you know the Firebird may be in that area and the Hunter in that, but the Hunter and the tank are closer together. But the Firebird's actually closer to the base next to Littleham safe house. So it's pretty. There's nothing in this area. No, I don't want to go in that one either. Interesting. Yeah, this one's a bit on the fun side because this is the I'm gonna call it for a little bit. Call it right here. Wait till I'm done. And then just remember to save your progress after each session. I hope you found this session enjoyable and fun and painful, terrifying, cringeworthy, humorous, and I'll see you guys later.